Hi, this is Rick Harsch, and this is your Master Class in Fiction. You can skip this ad in 3 days. Last night I saw a YouTube channel I hadn't seen before, and God damned if I didn't forget the name already. Everyone Who Reads, I think it is, must converse, or something. I think that's right. And that, along with Leaf by Leaf, are the two channels I watch, and they're both by Southerners. One Georgian and one North Carolinian. And of course it led me to think, why is it that the center of literary culture in the United States has always been the South? I know Herman Melville, my favorite, was not from the South, but of course there are going to be the odd Northerners, especially the early the Northeast coast. You know, you have some of the oldest families, and they're going to produce some people who pen certain things. But especially starting, I think, mostly in the 20th century, the best stuff has been from the South. The trio that is most often thrown together, Faulkner, Hemingway, and Fitzgerald, it's very clear that Faulkner is by far the best of those three. I needn't detain myself here. And I have a lot of things to say about this. One is named Ellison, another is O'Connor, another is Hurston, Warren, Penn, Bobby. You get the drift, I think. Even Cormac McCarthy is at his best when he's writing about Tennessee. Now, I read that he was born in Rhode Island, but he's a Southerner in spirit, and I'm trying to be, but I don't know if I'm good enough to be a Southerner. But I got out this notebook. Well, actually, it's not. It's actually my ledger for the my publishing company, and I opened it up, and the first page, which was the only one used before I started this publishing business, is apparently I was using it for one of my classes. So there's a list, and I'm going to use these as my notes for this master class. We have port, demurrage, pilot, tug, basin, ecology, student worker, smoking, drinking, communication, future of Luca Coper, that's the port near here, boss or bosses, freedom, sex, and pressure. So, what is it about the Southerners? Aren't they the ones with the slaves? Yeah, well, they were the ones with the traditional slavery, not the wage slavery, which the Northerners were expert at. The Jim Crow laws? Yeah, that's the Southerners too. And, during that time in the North, they were, they were, you don't hang a good worker unless you're in Indiana. then it doesn't really matter. So there's a lot of, the segregation. Well, if you have a sort of a city plan that prevents blacks from buying houses in a certain area, you've segregated. You don't need to put up signs. I mean, if you have all black neighborhoods like every single northern city has, you don't need to put up a whites only sign in a white neighborhood, because no black people go there, nor can they. Although that's changed over time, but what hasn't changed is the way the police view black people and the way most people view black. I mean, nowhere in the United States is there racial equality. So let's forget about that part, okay? Now let's look at the Southerners. Why? Why? Is it because of their ports? Probably. New Orleans, great port, and that kind of interchange that occurs at a wild and warm port like that probably leads to cultural uh, whatever, demurrage. You know, the amount of time that some boats had to stay in New Orleans. You know, people would sabotage their boats so they could stay longer. Yeah, that's how great that city was. Pilots, well, you need pilots to take a ship up the Mississippi, and so you got, you know, a culture of seamen and sea folk, and I believe that culture really stuck in two places in the Northeast, maybe from Boston on up, but I think it had much more of an effect in Louisiana. Tugs, same thing. Okay, basin, that, you know, that's where you put your raccoons, when you're gonna make stew. You cook it in a big basin. Ecology, well, you got wild swampland down there. You got interesting animals down there. That'll make a writer think. Smoking and drinking, well, a lot more illicit liquor in the South, and that also leads to more interesting cultural exchanges and more interesting human behavior. Smoking, well, you probably can grow a lot better marijuana down south than you can in the north. Communication, um, well, I don't know about that. I can't understand what anybody's saying. And when I can understand the Northerners, I think, what the fuck is wrong with you? You dumb son of a bitch. Uh, that's why I moved to Slovenia, you know, because I didn't have enough contact with Southerners. The future of the port here, I'm going to have to just scratch that, all right? Boss or bosses? Now, who's more likely to fuck with their boss, a Southerner or a Northerner? Southerner, okay? So freedom. And that's the next one on my list. Freedom. Sex? Well, we all know that the Southerner, not the further south you go, but the deeper into the south you go, the more wild sex goes on down there. Yeah. Yeah, and pressure? What pressure? You got much more pressure, commercial pressure, in the north. Um, and so these this is an accidental uh, sort of thing here that I got this list and this topic. But I think I've pretty much, you know, quicker than I thought I would, I think I've proved my point. So uh, that's why in the South you'll find much better literature than in the North. You take it from me, your master teacher in fiction. You can just call me Master Rick. And I think you want to after you hear something like this and you think, wow, that is so true. That is so true. And even the Northerners are going, yeah, fuck, that's true. That's true. It's true. Here we are and we're fucking, you know, dicking around with these workshops and talking about craft and shit like that. And down south, they're just writing away. Now I'm starting to talk like I'm from the South because I want to be from the South. And, you know, good for you, Northerners. Get down there, talk like a Southerner. They'll welcome you. They might laugh at you, but that's just the way, you know, they laugh more in the South. So, jolly people, and that's a lesson.